Good morning and welcome to another episode of Smashy Business. I'm Lubna Hamdan.
Good morning, it's Walid Shihabi here.
Walid Shihabi of Keeper and former investment banker.
Correct.
Let's go through the news headlines and we're going to talk about how we're both not morning people and how we can push through. We need a support group
we manage, yes.
So Saudi Arabia revealed plans for a $48 billion mega project in New Murabba, and it's seeking investors. We'll talk about that. Telegram secured $330 million in new capital through the issuance of bonds, but will it list in Abu Dhabi or Dubai? That will be interesting. Unliver will spin off its ice cream branch, and it will cut, as a result, 7,500 jobs. And the stock rose over 5% temporarily. And then Elon Musk is in the news again and just giving us all some entertainment. He's claimed his use of ketamine actually benefits investors.
Prescription ketamine.
Prescription, very important words. And then stay tuned for an interview with Sara Avera, the co-founder of GCME. She talks about stocks and making investment easier for beginners. Especially females, by the way. So interesting topic. Stay tuned for that. Walid, great to have you for another week. You're
great
a regular co-host. You bring with you a wealth of knowledge. And I just want to thank you for joining in the morning because you're not a morning person, are you?
I'm trying to be. I've changed my habits. I wake up a little bit earlier, but yeah,
Okay.
It takes me a couple of hours to get my thoughts usually sort of lined up.
What helps you?
Coffee, a lot of coffee usually,
lot of coffee,
and I
yeah.
don't get coffee in Ramadan.
Yeah,
so,
how's that working out for you?
It's hard. It's hard. It's getting easier day by day,
Yeah.
I guess. But my vice is coffee first and foremost. So that's the one. That's the toughest hump. Food I can manage, but it's the coffee that I start off my day. I'm like, I need another habit in the morning to get me up.
100%. Yeah, 100%. When I used to fast, I don't fast anymore. I do have acid reflux, and it makes it very difficult for me to fast. However, when I used to fast, it was very difficult for me to go without the coffee because I usually anyway don't have breakfast. Some days go by and I don't even have lunch, which is very unhealthy. But the fasting wasn't the hard part. It was really the coffee.
Guilty, exactly the same. And by the time fast ends, I typically would have had 5 to 6 coffees.
Wow.
So imagine going from that to zero.
Actually,
that's a big challenge.
We easily go through 5 coffees without even noticing.
I know I do. I don't think it's the healthiest habit for sure. But I'm also a coffee aficionado. I love my coffee. I'm going to keep talking about it right now and reminding myself of it, and it's not going to be good for us.
Okay. Then let's change the topic. I do want to speak about Ramadan though briefly because I feel like we haven't spoken about it much on the show. There's not much about it in the news. Does this Ramadan feel a little bit different? I mean, in Dubai especially, which is amazing for tourists, it's amazing for business. Restaurants are open, cafes are open, and that's great, especially for the economy. Obviously, people are working really hard in Ramadan. It's not like it used to be in previous years where it went very quiet.
It's spot on. I mean, 10 years ago in Dubai, Ramadan used to be a very slow period. All activity would slow down. The working day gets significantly shorter. You get much less done. I don't think that's the case anymore. I don't think people, mindset of Dubai these days is you cannot afford to take a month off, right?
Exactly.
Businesses cannot afford to shut down for a month. People cannot afford to slow down for that month. So they're pushing through, and it's also a little bit more open from that perspective. So restaurants, hotels, attractions, etc., are business as usual for tourists coming into Dubai. So no real barriers during that period for activity to remain high. And I guess restaurants have 5 meals a day now instead of 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's crazy because just I think maybe less than 5 years ago. I remember I was at Arabian Business back then, and some of my team members, my colleagues, were going to the bar, and it was open before iftar time, and I didn't believe it until I actually saw it with my own eyes.
And I think that's the policy where, you know, the openness of the UAE means that, you know, regardless of the background, you can still do what you usually do. But very interesting, and as things became freer during the Ramadan period, I started a hospitality business around 10 years ago.
Okay.
And for us, we used to always price in Ramadan as a period of very low occupancy, very low pricing, regardless of when it came during the year.
Right.
And we don't do that anymore. It has not slowed down significantly in terms of visitors, in terms of hotel bookings, in terms of you know, stays, or not materially anymore, where it used to be probably our lowest month, so worse than August, basically. Which is typically, you know, the hottest month of the year for Dubai and the lowest tourism traffic. So it's good for business, naturally, but still, you know, there is a Ramadan feel, a Ramadan vibe if you look for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Loads of events going around. There are iftar, suhoor, you know, every single day, loads of them. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get into the news because we can talk about that. I feel forever as well. Saudi Arabia has revealed, it hasn't launched anything yet. It's revealed ambitious plans, a $48 billion project. They were unveiled by the new Murabba development company. It's funny because when I first mentioned it to you before the show, I said Murabba, and then I was, you know, sometimes when I read English, I forget that I am an Arabic.
The Arabic origins.
I forget that I'm an Arabic speaker, and I forget that this company is a Saudi Arabian company, and it is.
It's the Arabic word for square. It's the Arabic
Murabba,
word for,
yes, exactly. And it's wholly owned by the PIF, by the Public Investment Fund. It's a Saudi sovereign wealth fund. And it unveiled these plans at a real estate trade show in Cannes. That must have been exciting for Saudi Arabia to kind of, you know, show off these mega plans.
This is a landmark project. The project was announced, I think, around a year ago or thereabouts, maybe a little bit longer, but without the level of detail. Was established back then. And I think the main purpose of the company is to create the new downtown of Riyadh. And Riyadh, of course, is the capital, is the financial hub, is the business hub of Saudi Arabia,
which was traditionally more conservative.
Than the rest of Saudi Arabia.
Jeddah was where everyone was going, and now Riyadh is looking to.
And Riyadh is where the transition or the change shows up the most, right?
Absolutely.
Because today it is by far the biggest magnet for activity, for investment in Saudi Arabia. And when you talk about real estate investors, very likely, if you're not talking about tourism projects on the Red Sea, then you're talking about Riyadh.
Right.
And here's a company that is redeveloping the center of Riyadh, the main hub, the main center.
We have downtown Dubai, Beirut has downtown Beirut, every major city has a downtown.
And this seems to be the equivalent on a very large scale, of course. And at the same time, architecturally, it is a landmark. It's a massive project, very unique architecturally. It's going to be not as unique as the Line, maybe, or Neom, but certainly very prominent and very architecturally adventurous, if you like, for Riyadh.
Absolutely. It will include a tower set on a spiral base. The cube itself, the square, is 400 meters high, wide, and long. It's going to include tourist attractions, residential units, hotels, commercial areas, retail spaces.
And a lot of people don't understand the scale of 400 meters long and wide, right? And it is a square, so it's as
huge,
long as it is wide. And 400 meter is a pretty significant skyscraper. Dubai did not have a 400 meter skyscraper up until maybe a Burj Khalifa came about.
Right.
So that's how large the scale is. So look at one of the higher skyscrapers in Dubai, and then take that as the width also, and you'll understand just how sizable this project is.
Absolutely, and they're looking for foreign investors.
And I think
that's the interesting bit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the reforms in terms of attractiveness to foreign investors address the real estate side. Usually, one of the ones that generate the most inward investment for cities and countries that are in such massive transition, such as Saudi Arabia, and that are attracting attention from people globally. And I think it will be one of the major attractions actually generating that sort of thing. And it's important because it's situated in Riyadh. That association means that if you want to go long, what we call go long, or take a bet on continued growth in Riyadh and in Saudi Arabian economy overall, then it makes sense that you would invest in Riyadh. Right? And this is the center of Riyadh. So while we get more details and understand pricing and understand the project itself and all its details, today we're already getting questions from people who have invested in Dubai real estate for like the last decade to 2 decades, thinking, okay, is it time to start looking at Riyadh? Is it time to start looking at Saudi Arabia as the next good bet?
Yeah. I mean, Saudi has proven to, go ahead with these projects. Al-Ula has been a big success.
Diraiya in Riyadh, which is another redevelopment project, has really generated, is really something unique and different, and is something that is quite impressive and delivered in record time. And so it seems like things are moving at an accelerating pace in terms of development, and barriers for that to happen are just shrinking.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also going to attract talent. It's going to create, or it's expected to create, over 300,000 jobs.
I think as a center of the city, that would make sense. As a hub for the city with very high standards of amenities and so on, I think that number is achievable. But it is higher than, for example, what you would say is the current population of Dubai Marina, which is the largest master development project in Dubai currently. So it's even bigger than that.
Is it possible now, going a little bit off topic, is it possible now to find a good place in Dubai Marina, in a new-ish building?
Of course. Now,
some place that doesn't cost the world.
Doesn't cost the world. Well, everything is up, right? In Dubai, there's been a recovery across the board. But the interesting bit is sort of the apartment or condo sector in places like Dubai Marina hasn't appreciated the same as, for example, villas in other areas, or even downtown, which actually appreciated more.
Are the prices, though, and I'm asking you this because obviously Keeper is a real estate platform, and you do have background in real estate as well. A lot of the property platforms like Property Finder, Bayut, are the prices really accurate of the properties on those? More
and more so, but at the end of the day, they're always asking prices. So what you want to check beyond that is transactional prices and sort of triangulate between your expectation, what people are listing their properties at, and what people are actually transacting at.
Where would you do that? On RERA's?
So you can get it directly from open data on DLD, but you can also get it on these platforms themselves. A lot of them share transactional history if you filter for certain things, and you can get it on the Keeper app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
there
that's
you go.
Another option.
That's a nice plug-in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And, unintentional, but thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm asking because I was just dabbling around looking for kind of apartments and stuff, and just I was
I'll
wondering.
Send you a research report we did on Dubai Marina, and it actually tells you exactly the price points on a per building level to expect, and interestingly it varies between an average of 900 dirhams a square foot for the lower end projects in Dubai Marina, all the way up to 3,000 dirhams a square foot. So you can have a tripling for a 1-bedroom apartment. You could be paying here less than 1 million dirhams, and in the higher end properties, probably newer, probably more prominent locations, more recognized developers.
What is the comparison?
Be 3 million dirhams.
Right. Wow. What is the comparison to New York when we talk about square footage? Do you have any idea, New York or London?
Well, we've been going up, and New York's been going down. But still, from New York from a very high base, Dubai from a base that was quite low in 2019, 2020. So off the top of my head, on a per square foot basis, I would say around 2.5 times. But again, I'm talking prime to prime. comparative, it's around 2.5 times per square meter or per square foot here versus there, and condo prices.
Right, right. So okay, we need to have a coffee chat over this after the show.
Sure.
And not in Ramadan, after iftar. So Pavel Durov, the CEO of Telegram, announced yesterday on his channel, and I love that people are now not using press releases as much. They're just making announcements, like Mr. Beast, the popular YouTuber, announced on X that he, just landed a $100 million deal with Amazon. And he said in a podcast, I didn't want to go with a press release because I just thought, let me just put it out on X.
These are the new wires.
Yeah.
These are straight to consumer. These are straight to distributed. These people have thousands, if not millions, of followers, and then it's very easy to carry through. So
we should get someone from PR to talk to us about the effects of this on
I think so. And you guys are new media over here, so of course, very, very relevant topic.
Absolutely. Right. So back to Telegram. He announced on his channel that the bond offering was oversubscribed. So they secured $330 million in new capital through the issuance of bonds. It was oversubscribed. High caliber global funds participating. He didn't give too much information. He's always been quite secretive. He likes to tease us with, some information. In 2021, so they just almost have 1 billion users. We said they have 9 million users, 900 million. And in 2021, Mubadala invested in return for convertible bonds.
Yes. Which, in effect, is their own equity in the company now. And I think that tells us a lot. For me, it's a super interesting story.
It's based in Dubai.
This is a Dubai-based company. This is like you said, 900 million user company. And this, to me, could be, we anticipate an IPO. We understand that just purely from their own announcements and Telegram's own announcements that they are solid financially, that they are looking at profitability by next year. And this is very significant. This is one of the world's most popular social platforms. And it is one that I anticipate, and probably a lot of investors in Telegram anticipate to go through IPO sometime in the future. Now, it would be super interesting to see their choice over there, but I think this could be a wonderful opportunity for finally a technology listing, a locally based technology company to go through a local listing. I think ADX or the DFM, the Dubai Financial Market, can be viable options if they are pushed into it, and an IPO, a successful IPO of Telegram on one of those could open up I'm not going to say the floodgates, but could open up the path for more technology companies based out of the UAE to start listing in the UAE.
Definitely.
We've not had it yet. It's never happened. We've never had a successful technology company out of the UAE list in the UAE.
Yeah.
And that's a shame. We've seen them list in NASDAQ successfully, or maybe not so successfully in a couple of cases, but still go through the IPO successfully. And we've seen Saudi technology companies, Jahez being, the food delivery app, list successfully on the Tadawul stock exchange in Saudi Arabia. So it opened up the path there, and more is to come there.
Right.
But I would love to see some sort of signal that Telegram could potentially list.
Absolutely. If Mubadala is investing that much, and they have given him a lot of attention here in Dubai, they've been very, very supportive of him. Of Pavel Durov, the CEO of Telegram. Maybe they might be expecting something in return as well. So I don't know. It will be interesting.
So look at another very successful technology company. Tabi moved its headquarters from the UAE, from Dubai to Saudi Arabia, because of the level of, number one, it being their biggest market, but also because of the level of support all the way through to IPO that what we anticipate for Tabi in Saudi Arabia. So a similar play could happen over here, but it also needs to be that the market can accommodate a technology listing, that you have enough investors who understand the technology space, who are active on the domestic exchanges, and that you can have a successful IPO at the valuation that you think the company deserves. You don't want to have a successful IPO as in it performs well, but you're selling at half what your company is worth.
Absolutely, absolutely. It'll be really, really interesting to see. We are going short on time, although there's a lot to talk about. Have you ever met Pavel Durov?
I have not. And I don't think it's the easiest thing in the world to do, maybe, but it's certainly one of the names I'd be super interested to have a conversation with, probably top 5 or top 10 in the UAE.
I'll give you a little secret as to where about he hangs out.
Okay, stock material, yes. Sure.
Exactly. You can be the life of a journalist, for a day. You can go and stalk him like I do most.
Sure thing. I'll take a note offline.
Right. Unliver is going to spin off its ice cream branch. It will result in the cutting of 7,500 jobs. It's not good news. The spinoff involves brands like Magnum and Ben & Jerry's becoming standalone entities. It's a cost-saving initiative, obviously. Sad news for the jobs. It was good news for the stock. It rose over 5% on Tuesday. Overnight. And Unliver is targeting mid-single-digit sales growth and a modest margin improvement, it said, after the split.
So I think a lot of these large conglomerate companies are reaching a realization that, doing everything, people don't value them the same way than if they are, if they are specialized. So GE went through this to a large degree and spun off all its and started spinning off all its main divisions. And if you add them up today, they're worth so much more than what GE was worth previously. And I think Unliver is doing something a little bit similar. It is sort of extracting value. Or believes that it's extracting value for its shareholders by spinning off, specialized divisions within the company.
Right.
But the jobs bit, I think everybody's pressured also into more efficiency with the tools that exist today. So this may or may not be fully related to the spin-off, but it's not been uncommon, these numbers.
No, it's a great point you're making, because BuzzFeed also, it's a great company. The content is amazing on YouTube, but they were doing so much. I mean, BuzzFeed on Instagram, for example, is not that great. The content is pretty, bad quality. But on the production side of things, it's amazing. And they had acquired they sold a company called Complex. And they sold it for more than BuzzFeed is worth on the market.
Yeah, and that tells you something. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. So sum of parts doesn't always work. You sometimes don't do the value unlock that you thought you would have by having all these companies under one umbrella. And just a simple example of exactly what you said is just one of their divisions, one of their companies ended up selling for more than the whole company is being valued at.
Maybe Smashy Business will be sold one day.
I'm keeping an eye on that.
We've got ambitious plans here, so.
I'm sure.
Elon Musk.
There's got to be an Elon Musk story, right?
There's just got to be something, right? He's claimed that his use of prescription ketamine actually benefits investors. He did a recent interview with former CNN anchor Don Lemon. And he said his use of prescription has helped him treat his occasional depressive episodes. He said, from the standpoint of Wall Street, what matters is execution. For investors, if there's something I'm taking, I should keep taking it. And he explained that he takes a small dose once every other week to manage his depression because of chemical fluctuations. I don't know what chemical fluctuations means. It means
Maybe.
I mean, surely everyone has chemical fluctuations. It's called being alive, right?
I guess in the case of Elon, chemical fluctuations may result in billions of dollars of lost value one way or the other.
Great points. Great points. Yeah.
When I have chemical fluctuations, it doesn't have as big an effect on the global economy.
Fair enough.
So I think maybe we give him benefit of the doubt on that one. I'm not into judging personal behavior. I'm more into judging results.
Right.
And I think there has been distractions in this case, but I mean, who wouldn't when you're running like 3 of the top 10 most interesting companies in the world?
True. Apparently, there was a report by the Wall Street Journal, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of months ago, and it said that one of the executives, because of Elon Musk's use of prescription ketamine, she got so frustrated with his behavior that she quit.
And I think it's more about discretion. Right? So I would suspect that not all executives' behavior is perfect out there, but they are discreet about it. And I believe that Elon Musk in particular doesn't value discretion very highly.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, and that's just the way that you would expect him, I guess, to be.
He's one of a kind. But there was something else that was really interesting that a lot of people picked up on, or maybe a few people picked up on. Lemon was meant to host 3 30-minute episodes per week on X, formerly Twitter. Musk owns it, obviously. The deal went bust, and Elon said Lemon's approach was basically just CNN, but on social media, which doesn't work. And that's interesting because, as a new media company here at Augustus with Love in Dubai and Smashy Business, I was very,
interested in that experiment.
Yeah, I was interested in it, but I was also worried because I thought Smashy Business has a website. And then I asked Richard, our CEO, why don't we have a website? And he said websites are dying. But people want their news fast and they want it on social media. So
websites are obsolete, yes.
Yeah.
And the quickest delivery of news today is on social media.
Yeah.
You mentioned Telegram, but X, Instagram, LinkedIn. This is really where message goes out instantly, right? And nothing else can compete with that pace and that speed of distribution. So, website is now become an afterthought. I would say, and even I might have this wrong, but Vice no longer has a website, or no longer has a full.
Vice was having a lot of issues. That's an interesting one. I'm not sure about the.
I mean, they probably have a website, but the point is that it's not their main news delivery platform. Their main news delivery platform is through the existing platform with existing billions of subscribers, right? That if they deliver distribution to you, why are you guiding people in another direction?
It's interesting because social media is really the way to go, whether we like it or not. Like, as a journalist that worked on websites and in print, I adore print. Like, I really love opening a magazine and feeling the papers and the pages, and I love.
Yeah, but that's mostly nostalgia. Print is dead.
Definitely.
We have to accept that print is dead. And I like books, but I don't read them anymore.
Really?
I don't read physical books anymore.
Right.
It's either audio books or on a Kindle, for example, or something like that. So it might go quickly, it might go slowly, but in the end, that trend is not reversible.
Yeah. Gosh, that's sad. Anyways, like Mr. Beast, the YouTuber, has 240 million followers from subscribers on YouTube, not even followers, subscribers on YouTube, from doing, content we were talking about this yesterday, that's not necessarily valuable content. It's just for entertainment.
Valuable to his audience and entertaining to his audience, and that generates massive distribution capabilities and just creates a brand that is worth so much. I mean, it would be hard to actually value a brand like that.
Exactly. And you know what? If a YouTuber can get 240 million subs on YouTube, why can't we, a media company, where our content is
by all means
our bread and butter? So I do think that the transition is inevitable.
By all means, and I think you guys are in the right direction. You made the conclusion early on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they did. I joined in January. I was resisting that.
Credit
I was resisting. Thank you. I'll take the credit. Thanks so much, Walid, for your time. Always a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for making it during Ramadan while fasting. We appreciate it. And Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem.
Mubarak Ali. Thank you so much.
Stay tuned, guys, for the interview with Sara coming up next. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.
Hello and welcome everyone again to the Smashy Business Show. Today we have a very special guest, Sara, Avera, the co-founder of Game Changers Mission Eminence. Of course, we are here to ask her all about her finance and crypto journey, which is very interesting. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So I actually do have a lot of, I would say, questions that I would like to say, because you are Palestinian, but you are born in Japan. So you come from, like, I would say, different cultures, and of course with being that, do you think that kind of, like, let's say, played a huge role? Because you have mentioned that, you know, it has played a huge role in wanting to pursue your independence and as well, I would say, yeah, your independence. Yeah. How would you say that play a huge role? Like, what are the things that have gone into your thinking? You know, like when you wanted to, like, what brought up to your head, like, hey, I want to become independent. I want to do this. I want to do that.
I feel like it's natural for an eldest daughter to want to be independent, because you're responsible for literally everything. You just have that responsibility on your shoulders. But we, you know, growing up, we moved a lot. Yes, I was born and raised in Japan, but then we moved a lot. So I've always wanted to sort of settle into a place and be, like, stable, not just financially, but, like, just choose a country to live in and just, you know, call it like home, you could say.
100%.
Yeah, because it was very hard to call places home when you're moving every other years to different countries, different cities, changing schools, you know.
100%.
So yeah, I'd say that's one of the reasons why I pursued this, but also, like, for, like, different reasons as well. Just, you know, this generation, like, we are raised in the digital era. We have access to the internet. Everybody's making money online. So it piqued my interest when I was in university. And of course, I tried and dabbled in different things, but crypto piqued my interest. And I was like, okay, I want in on it.
Yes.
And yeah, I took that risk 2 years ago. And honestly, it's paying off right now.
It is. We can see, of course.
Yeah.
Because, you know, not many, I would say, girls go into crypto. It's a very, I would say, tricky situation, and mainly men. So you have mentioned that through your crypto journey, you had a mentor.
Yeah.
Tell us about your mentor.
So I met my mentor actually online, and she was the one that was part of the community and introduced me to other mentors as well. And if it weren't for having a mentor, I think it would have been more difficult for me to even get involved in the space and know more about crypto. Because you see, like, you can Google anything. You have access to TikTok, which is, like, you know, you get so much education from it these days. But it's difficult to find credible resources and to get yourself, like, not mentors or coaches, because there's so many these days, and there's a lot of people, like, claiming to be experts when they're not. But what's difficult to find is credible resources and experts that will teach you, like, proper education. I come from a business background. I went to university, studied business, and I took a couple of finance courses, but never did they ever talk about crypto. Never. Like, we talk about the stock market, but never about crypto. And I'm like, okay, guys, like, crypto's, you know, talked about on social media. Why are we not getting that education in university? So I saw that gap, and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to, like, join the community. And I think I mentioned to you that I learned for free, like that one free course, and then I joined in, and I paid for the education online to obviously learn more and get involved in this space. And now I help other people do the same as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we live in 2023, and you have mentioned TikTok and the digital media. Of course, now like on TikTok and digital media can go both ways. It can give you wrong information and correct information. So in light of that, what do you think is the future for digital media?
Interesting question. I feel like a lot of people are, like I said, claiming to be experts on social media. So it's very hard for you to kind of sort of tell what's real and what's not. At the same time, with crypto, obviously, there's like a lot of scams online and people get scammed a lot. I mean, not just with crypto. I mean, I get calls on a daily basis like, oh, are you interested in investing? I'm like, guys, you got the wrong person to scam. Like, I know about investing. I know my stuff, you know. But yeah, I feel like people should just be careful. Like, don't give your money to stranger. I feel like people want that fast success.
Yeah.
And they think they're gonna make a lot of money overnight, but truly, like, it takes time, effort, consistency, and like dedication for you to be able to sort of build that financial wealth.
That's true.
Like, I remember, because there was a time when I first got started and I wasn't making any money from it. But then again, like, you need to take into consideration that I was still learning something new. Just like you go to university and get a degree, you're learning something for 4 years, you know?
True.
So you can't learn it in one day and master it. No, it takes 2 to 3 years to master the skill. So, of course, like, the more you're learning, the more you're putting in effort, the easier it's going to get. And obviously, you'll see the results eventually.
100%. And as well, because like we live in a generation that is called the fast generation. So people just want things really fast and they do not have the patience at all, of course. Yeah. So I would like to ask is that, of course, you have mentioned that you worked several jobs while as well, you know, like getting into crypto. Yeah. How is it like juggling? Of course, both. And because, like, of course, you know, like you were, of course, like I would assume having the multiple jobs because you wanted to, let's say, make sure that you have something secure while learning something new.
Actually, when I first got involved, I was still in university studying full-time and I was working part-time aside it. And at some point, I was working multiple jobs. Yes. A lot of people used to be like, it's a lot that you're juggling, and I like the stress. Like, I love the stress. So if I'm not busy, I'll be bored out of my mind and I'll find a reason to be stressed out. So I like to keep myself busy, like juggling different things. Of course, good stress, nothing bad or anything. But yeah, I mean, you have to sacrifice something when you want to achieve something in your life, like success or your dream life or your goals, you have to sacrifice something. So for me, I knew very early on that I didn't fit in. Like, I didn't even try to make friends or anything because I just felt like I was different. I couldn't relate to people in university. So it's like, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm just gonna do my own thing. And that's exactly what I did. Like, I just focused on myself, focused on studies. By the way, like, when you're learning, because like I said, I was from a business background. As I was learning about, you know, crypto and the financial markets and making money online, and I'm learning from millionaires and successful people that actually created the success, right? I would go back to classes in university and look at my professor and I'm like, what a hypocrite. Like, why are they teaching us these things if they're not even like having a business of their own, you know? So I was just like, oh, what a waste of time. Like, I just need to get out of here like as fast as I can. So yeah, I just managed to like graduate early. Of course, like working jobs did help me build my skill sets. And yeah, like it was a side hustle until it became like my full-time, you could say, yeah.
I mean, it is very interesting because we do find a lot from Generation Z and the new generation actually aspiring. You know, they don't want the 9-to-5 job at all. And I literally have like a living proof right here that just like, you know, you did not want the 9-to-5 job. No. You know, they just want the, I would say, you know, like they want the bag, they want the money, and they are just like very quick. They're not only quick with what they want, they're quick with understanding it. Yeah. So that is really, I would say, it just shows how fast our generation is moving, and which is why I asked about, you know, what's the future for the digital media. So I would like to ask, of course, when did the passion for specifically cryptocurrency emerge? Because, like, you know, you come from a business background, you come from a finance background. Of course, you know, you've had like the love for like business and numbers, and that's not everyone's expertise lies in. Of course, like for example, like numbers are very hard to a lot of people. But where did specifically cryptocurrency just like emerge in your head?
By the way, I was not good at math.
Oh,
Just
wow.
want to preface that. Like,
Okay.
I'm not that good with numbers, but somehow trading and investing and making money worked for me.
Yes.
I was so intimidated to learn about it in the beginning because I'm like, I'm really bad at math. I don't know if this is the right thing for me. But you know what? Like, I'm a risk taker. So it's like, if I don't make something out of it, at least it's like a lesson learned. You know, it's not like a loss or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I took the risk. I was learning. It wasn't easy, but what I like about the platform and like the courses we offer is that it's literally so simplified to like so easy that it like a 9-year-old can understand what it's talking about. And for me, like where that's like sort of passion for crypto stemmed is that, first of all, I didn't see anybody in our region like be involved in this space and a woman be involved in this space, like in our region specifically. I see a lot of people like in Europe and Northern America, that sort of thing. But in this region, like I barely see. Even I get invited to events. Like I was in events before Ramadan and I did not see any women. I was like, where's the representation? Like,
that is true.
Yeah, I felt so like, not left out because I felt like I was in my space. I was meeting people. I felt normal for the first time. But no, like there's still not enough representation. And even though it's a bit uncomfortable for me because I'm doing something that I'm not used to, it still that counts for something because then I'll be that representation for other girls and other women that want to, you know, aspire and enter the space. But I was just so sick and tired of being a business student and not know what the hell is crypto.
Wow.
Like, I just wanted to know more, like more about crypto, more about blockchain. Even AI was like intriguing to me. I took a few courses about like algorithms and AI and I was like, yeah, I want to know more about that because that's where the future seems to be headed towards. And like, if you're not in the beginning, you're going to be like the late adapter for the trend and you're not going to gain much benefit from it. So I'm like, let me be a risk taker and just jump on this wagon.
I mean, it's beautiful because like, as you said, crypto and finance is mainly it's not often associated with women. However, like you broke the stigma. It might be associated with women, but not in our region. So would you say breaking the stigma was hard?
It wasn't easy because, of course, in the beginning, like I mean, it's normal to get a lot of hate. I feel like, especially when you're on social media, you're prone to getting hate. Like literally, like if you're putting yourself to the public, like just get prepared to get hate on.
100%.
And also like taking a different route, not wanting to take the 9-to-5, not wanting to, you know, work for someone else. That's also something different because everybody, like in the norm, they just work jobs and they settle for that because they're comfortable with that. But I wanted something different. And yes, I would say like it was hard in the beginning because a lot of people were like, oh, like it's haram. And that sort of thing. And I had to break that stigma that no, you can trade and invest in the financial markets in the halal way, but it's because not that many people are educated about it, not that many people know about it. It's why you get hate about these things. But once people are like, you know, having more knowledge about this, I feel like the hate gets less and people just, you know, want to learn and want to join. But yeah, no, like I said, it's a bit uncomfortable going to events and seeing all men, Arab men, and no like hijabis in the space. But I'm like, it's okay. I'll be that for other women. For sure. And hopefully, like when I go to other events in the future, like there'd be more of us actually. I
mean, you for sure, of course, you know, the moment you break a stigma, the moment people would see like, hey, this is a hijabi woman from the region who broke all of the rules and all of the, I would say, norms about investing, I think that would be amazing. Which brings me to my next question is, how can your academy help business startups to kick off their career and journey to success?
I feel like when you get mentorship from people, especially from like business coaches or just people that already achieved the success that you want in your life, it's sort of like a life hack. Because instead of you trying to figure it out by yourself, struggling, you have somebody sort of coaching you and mentoring you and telling you like, no, like I did this does not work, like sort of like helping you towards reaching that goal. I feel like it's a hack, like you can reach it faster than you trying to figure it out all by yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. And especially with like a community, because we have a big community all over the world and we support one another. When you're starting out to start your own business or want to enter the crypto space, you get a lot of hate, like from your family, from your friends. It's not normal. But that's why it's important, I say, like to have a community, because it's people that are like you, that are getting started, that are supporting you, that are like-minded, you know? So it's important to have like a positive environment, I'd say, because it would definitely impact on you and your business and like your results, I'd say, maybe, somehow.
100%, because the other person would be able to teach you like, hey, I made a mistake from this. Do not make this mistake. I benefited from this. Do this instead of this, which is actually really a good thing. So I was going to ask you, how do you treat every business? Is it different from one business to another, or do you like some sort of have like a fixed concrete advice on like, you know, the businesses? And
I feel like with crypto, it's very volatile, right? Because it's relatively new market in comparison to like the foreign exchange market or the stock market. I feel like it's normal. And right now with the big guys entering, like with the Bitcoin ETF and the Ethereum ETF, like big institutions are entering the market. That's why it's like, I feel like it's a very critical year for crypto. And as long as you're educated, as long as you know what's about to come, I feel like if you're practicing risk management, really, like you've got nothing to lose, because in every business, there's a risk that you're taking. And as long as you're assessing your risks, you should be on the safe side, really.
That is true.
That's it.
That is true. But speaking of risks and losing, have you ever lost?
Of course.
Of course. Of course, yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, in the beginning, it was very like difficult, I'd say, because when you're, you know, having that loss, you're like, oh my God.
It demotivates you.
No, it's not demotivating. It's more so like heartbreaking, because you're like, oh my God, I just lost that much money. But that's why it's very important to have the right mindset and have proper discipline. Right now, I'm so not attached to money. If I lose it, I lose it. Like, it's just not meant to be. Or I know, like, I'm confident enough in my skill set that I know I'll make up the amount that I lost the next day or the next week. Because, like I said, the market is volatile. We know how the market could possibly play out, but then you never know what could happen. So like I said, as long as you have proper risk management, like the loss is just something that you can tolerate losing, you know? And at the beginning, a lot of people face that. Like I've seen a lot of traders like lose a lot of money, and I'm like, you guys are being greedy. Like you're really being greedy, because when they trade, they lose an amount, and then they're like, no, I need to make that amount of money. And then they take another trade, and it would be another loss, and another loss, and another loss, and they'd lose a lot of money. I've seen a lot of people like blow out their entire trading accounts because of them being greedy. So really just have to practice your emotions, practice your mindset to make sure like you're not losing or blowing up your whole account, really,
I mean, of course, because like as I've mentioned, we live in a generation where they want everything to come to them, to their hands. They want everything as fast as possible. They want the good results as fast as possible. So, and as well, trading is all over, by the way, social media, digital media, TikTok, Instagram. You see it after every other post, let's say, for example. So what is one advice would you give this generation and people who would want to trade right now?
I say really just educate yourself, learn from experts, get a mentor. That's like a life hack for you. Like instead of it taking 10 years to figure it out by yourself, feeling lost, feeling confused, you'll have that mentor, and it'll be like a shorter span, like maybe cut into half. Like instead of it taking 10 years, it would take like 5 years, 4 years, I don't know. Yeah, like a shortcut, exactly. So I'd say, get a mentor, get a coach, and learn from experts. Like I've learned from the best in the industry. I'm not sure if there are other academies online that teach from experts that actually like have the proper knowledge and experience in the markets. But for us, like, we have experts dedicated for every single market. Like, it's not one expert that teaches all the markets and all the strategies. We have different experts for different like strategies, for different markets, for different coins even sometimes. So it really just depends. And yeah, just be aware, like, guys, half of social media is fake. Like, you can't trust people online. So I'd say, like, do your research and yeah, like, there's credible resources out there. So just do your research and you should be good. But don't just give your money to strangers, because that's how you'll get scammed.
Well, one last question is, what market would you advise people to invest in right now?
Right now it's crypto, obviously, because we are moving like in a bull trend right now. Like, there was a little bit of a dip this morning, but we expected that, obviously, since a lot of money is going into the market. The past couple of weeks, it's been insane. Like, the amount of money we've been making from crypto, I just can't even believe my eyes, because I've been waiting for this moment for 2 years. When I first entered the market, it was during a crash. So for me, I'm like, okay, I studied economics. I know that, like, you know, it's a cycle. There's a crash. There's like trend, you know, like uptrend, downtrend. So I'm like, if I apply the same like thing I learned, it would probably work out for me. So that's kind of like the risk I took. Like, I invested in so many different coins during the crash, and people are like, you're so crazy, like, you're stupid, why would you do that? Like, crypto, khalas, it's done, like, it's the end of it. Okay, well, right now, look at it, it's reaching all-time high. Like, what do you mean?
I mean, you got the plans that you have put, you watered them, and look at them.
Like, I already took all the initial investments that I already made. So right now, with whatever money I still have in my portfolio, it's all from the profits. So I didn't lose any of my money, technically. So
you benefited.
I literally did benefit, and now I can also help other people do it as well.
Perfect. So you guys, if you need any advice, you can go to the one and the only Sara, and of course in her academy, which is, by the way, seems to be like one of the best. Maybe we should go to learn more about investing.
You should, for sure.
And as she said, invest in crypto.
For sure. But guys, do your research, because crypto, there's a lot of coins out there. So make sure you're investing in like the main ones rather than the meme coins. I mean, I do know people do invest in meme coins and do make some money, but just do your research and know which one you want to put your money in. Yeah, exactly.
Which coin would you say right now is the go-to coin?
Honestly, it depends, because I have my money in different coins. So Bitcoin obviously is the father of all crypto. It has a limited supply of 21 million coins out there. So once these coins are gone, they're gone. Like, they can't print more Bitcoins like you can print with more money, you know? So I'd say, like, I have a majority of my money in Bitcoin, but then also like other coins like Ethereum, Solana, other ones as well. But
the mastermind behind it all, you guys. I mean, that is amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sara, for giving us a lot of wisdom about cryptocurrency. And it's just so inspiring seeing that you have broken a stigma that has been there for so long. So a big shout out to you. And
thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, for actually educating us and educating whoever is watching. You guys, this brings us to the end of the Smashy Business Show. Don't forget to tune in next week. So goodbye from me.
Goodbye.